Morning, that's my creepy morning. Hello, good morning. I've got Nadia's glasses on as an Alice band because my attempts to look like, well, not look like, but become Joe Wicks. I want to become Joe Wicks. I need my hair in a nubbin. Good morning, Faith Goodman.
Once upon a magic dream.
Good morning, Brenda McGee, Claire Yardley Coco, Salsa Trish. I've got those. Do you ever wake up where you've had that? You've got those eyes that are slightly. You have to do that a lot to focus properly. I looked at my Fitbit last night and I got the best night's sleep. Hi Tim Reed, hi Claire Ross Reed, Alice Cooper, Louise 1174, Susie Bulmer, Dawn Clara Coates. I got the best night's sleep I've got, or I've had, I looked at my Fitbit and it says, believe it or not, in approximately 5 months. Yeah, don't know what happened last night. Had to move bed again due to snoring, but I think I got 7 hours sleep last night. So that's good. Denise Drummond Mulvaney, is it Mulvaney? Reem AW, Ruth Mihareb, thank you. Lauren Rochelle Kinnan, good morning. All of you beautiful people. Hope you're all bearing up with the lockdown. What a lovely message for everyone there. Thank you, Lauren. Someone somewhere, top of the morning mark. Sharon Tattersall, morning. Sharon Goodis, Jackie Valino, Denise Drummond Mulvaney, yes. Trish McGrath, Tina Davis, Elaine Hewings, there goes Toffee. Toffee doesn't know what to do with all the space. Toffee's a hoarder, you see. Toffee likes clutter. Toffee likes to take stuff to her bed. Lovely white hearts there from Ali Fraser. It's a good morning. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it proud. Looking at the news flow, here's the thing, guys. Looking at the news flow, you'd be forgiven for thinking it wasn't a good morning. Not because actually the news gatherers are championing microscopic bits of bad news and blowing them up into massive stories, but mainly because they're just choosing not to home in on the positives that are coming up today. Nadia sent me a great story from the Times of Israel that shows that the Pfizer jab is having, just 1 second guys, I've just got to go off just for a second. Sorry about that. The great news that in Israel, they say it's 95% effective, don't they, the Pfizer jab? And it's the first en masse sort of sample or trial or test or data that has been brought back. The distribution of the Israel vaccine is a completely different politicized thing. Let's park that to the side. Palestine should be entitled to exactly the same access, etc. But just on the notice of the information is exceedingly positive insofar as it almost confirms the controlled trials of Pfizer themselves. 92% success rate. 92% of those who've been vaccinated have no transmissibility between people who've been vaccinated. Did the PLO buy the vaccine? We don't know. All I do know is that there must be some, it'd be interesting to see if there's any sort of humanitarian effort made, because of course Palestine's borders are completely controlled. So I think it falls, does it not fall to Israel because they control all the access routes to Israel? Does it fall to, I'm not too sure if it falls to Israel as to whether what gets into Palestine. So it'd be a curious one. I'll have a look into that in more detail, and then we can have a more detailed conversation about that. Nadia is on Mark. Oh, Nadia's on what? Nadia's on what? On her Instagram. She must be on her Instagram. Nadia is on her way to Loose Women. Oh, Nadia's on here. Is she on here? Oh, hang on. Let me see. Oh no, hi Nads. Oh, hi Nadia. Look. Oh yeah, look, Nadia here. Oh yeah, hi Nads. Hey, how you doing? Isn't it great news coming out from Israel? People are very, very fairly pointing out it does raise question marks over whether the vaccine should be distributed to Palestine, but it's brilliant news. It's brilliant news. Sorry, I was thinking, where is she? I was kind of looking around me. I was looking on the phone. I know that she's just texted me. Very exciting, very excited. But interestingly, Nads, no one is picking it up in the news. Isn't that odd? No one has picked up this story. None of the major news outlets have picked up this story. They are, however, running with the story of a new vaccine. And it does well sometimes just to have a look at the front pages of the newspapers. And so on the front of the Daily Mail this morning, we've got another shot in the arm for Britain. Now, Brexiteers and people who wanted to leave Europe are really relishing and enjoying this squirming sort of difficulty that Europe's going through, and I don't think that's a good thing. I saw Andrew Neil, who's a journalist who's right of centre, and I don't particularly agree with. But I really like watching him as a journalist, Andrew Neil. But he was really on Twitter, sort of going, "Yes, up the Brits and British flag." I don't know whether it's a generational thing. I mean, I was brought up by two absolute fervent Britannites, my nan and my granddad. I don't have that thing about being so remarkably proud about, I'm proud of Britain when it's all-encompassing and all-accepting and all-embracing and tolerant and interconnected and plugged into the world. I'm not fond of Britain when it's closed off, inward-looking, insular and slightly vindictive. So I felt, another shot in the arm for Britain. As we obviously have this tussle with Europe, there's a real distinction going on. I mean, Europe have obviously made some major administrative errors here, or have they? I think they're claiming that AstraZeneca are reneging on their side of the deal. But 60 million more jabs to be made in the UK as the fourth vaccine shows stunning trial results of 89%, which, to be fair, is more robustly clearer than AstraZeneca. And this is what I said to Nadia last night about the whole AstraZeneca thing, because of course Germany are not sanctioning it for over 65s. Off to make up. Enjoy, Nads. Speak to you in a while. Are the Germans lying? Are old enmities and fissures along party political, country, nationalistic lines, are they being resurrected in this vaccine crisis? What do you think, guys? What do you think? So that's the front of the Daily Mail, not surprisingly. The front of the Sun, Union Vac. A new COVID jab for Britain is effective at 89%. Huge Union Jack on the front. 60 million doses to be made available in the UK. Really ramming home. And, it's the subliminals here, isn't it? It's another underlined. And it's Union Vac, says the front of the Sun. What's faithful? I really hope Nicola does not tell EU how many drugs we have. They should have ordered their jabs earlier. They are only approving it today. Nicola Sturgeon, I presume you're talking about there. The Prime Minister, front of the Times, the Prime Minister is jabbing back at the suggestion from Germany that the AstraZeneca jab doesn't work in over 65s. Now, whether this is true or not, I think what's happened here is, I don't know if you remember, when the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine came out, the PR on it, the press push and the message was so blunted, wasn't it, by that confusion in dosage and gap in dosage and scale of dosage. One thing AstraZeneca needs to do with any new sort of variant vaccines to deal with variants is get a new PR team in and be certain of their press release before they release it. Do you know what I mean? But I do, the difficulty with this story is it's going to sow seeds of doubt in those people's minds who want seeds of doubt to be sown, if you see what I mean. So it's curious, but an interesting contradiction, I believe, is that Germany are pushing back on the vaccine, and yet the EU more generally is seems to be signing off on it. So there's a big row between the EU and, but the EU could block millions of COVID vaccine doses from entering the UK because so many of them are manufactured in Europe. What do you think about that? I'm just going to run through the front headlines. Jab shortfalls is pushing Europe's vaccines to crisis point. Nicola Sturgeon needles Boris on jabs. She sides with the EU in vaccine row. Sturgeon's being accused of siding with the EU on jabs. Scott, oh, you're right there, Toffs. Scottish First Minister's decision to publish confidential vaccine data could jeopardise UK supply. That won't go down too well. Experts defending the efficacy of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Hancock's promise to 50 million Brits, you will get the second jab in time. I mean, here's one of the potential issues for this extension of the jab. Is I think a lot of people are getting worried that if there's a sudden shortfall in supply, will they be able to honour the second part of the jab? Do you see what I mean? The 12-week later jab. 12 weeks, you know, a week is a long time in politics. 12 weeks is a long time in a pandemic. So there's a lot of really high-level, high-jinks diplomatic stuff going on there. Britain backs jabs for our teachers. Poll reveals support for our campaign, says the Daily Mirror. Daily Mirror, I think it's really good that they're pushing on that side, pushing for teachers, but I do think the Daily Mirror has been single-handedly responsible for creating a state of nigh-on hysteria around children and their education. And the Daily Star, which I think is always worth a look. We don't give a monkeys. It's somebody else's fault. Pass me a banana, Coco. Experts say chimps can speak, but just can't be asked. A bit like the clowns in the cabinet. This is a study that suggests that chimpanzees can talk. They just think it's too much effort. And the Daily Star drawing a parallel there between that news and the cabinet. Now, I have to say, obviously, I don't align myself to the politics of the Daily Star, but the Daily Star has to be, they must have someone high up in its editorial who has a fantastic sense of humour, because it makes me chuckle a lot. Sophie J. Matilda, I understand countries looking after their own countries first, but past that, I think it is downright immoral to deny any country any number of vaccines. Sophie Jane Matilda, I agree. I was watching a bit of Question Time last night, but there is a dilemma here. I think you're absolutely right in the scenario that everyone has equitable resources. But what do you do in a situation where you have more than, say, another country? So, for example, I believe Bulgaria, because their economy is very tight, they're part of the EU for sure, they've signed up to only the AstraZeneca vaccine. And because of these delays and because of the change in ramping up production and because of the UK having lots, Bulgaria didn't have the money to be able to forward plan or forward order other types. So what do you do? So they have none. What, we're going to have one country that has none and we all use all of ours. I mean, where should it should we prioritize the most vulnerable in our country, and then at the point that we've hit those first four priority sections, should it then be extended out to countries that are struggling to hit the vulnerable? So in that sense, should there be a global effort to vaccinate everyone over, say, 70 before we even looked at our own population under 70? Do you know what I mean? I think, where's the United Nations in all of this? The WHO, they've been allowed off their tour bus in China. They've been in quarantine. It's going to be the longest inspection. I mean, as if having a year for the Chinese authorities to essentially obfuscate and filibuster the entire sort of stuff to find. I mean, what are they going to find? What are they going to, come on guys, let's speak around the bush. What are they going to find? I saw an image of a cleaner leaving the Wuhan laboratory with a bottle of bleach and an enormous mop only yesterday. You know, they've been cleaning that place for a long time. They ain't gonna find nothing. Who decides, Mark, about vaccines? I agree. I mean, who does decide? But I do think there needs to be some, and this is where I do think things like not be. I mean, yes, obviously, it looks like the EU's been caught on the back foot. Britain feels like we're on the front foot. You could argue that that's because of us not being part of the EU, all that kind of stuff. But I do feel in a humanitarian effort on the globe, we need to surely all be pulling together, right? And that would apply the same to Israel with Palestine as it does to the UK. I mean, you know, but then again, there's patchy coverage just in the UK. Susan Brown, there'll be no evidence of anything in China, and what a effing surprise. I mean, it's like going out, it's like using a chocolate fire guard It's like using a chocolate spoon to stir a cup of tea. Julie Everts, morning Kerry, doing good, thanks. Selena Lufog, Mark, did you get my message through Michelle? I have received your message and I was going to reply to you personally, actually. I wasn't going to do it on here. But thank you, Selena Lufog, much appreciated. Stuart G, I've been on medication for 2 weeks now for my health anxiety. Had an awful 2 weeks, but feeling good this morning. Oh, I'm pleased you're feeling better, Stuart. Sage Junkie, Janice Muir, fair enough, but isn't the majority feel that way? Only a tiny bit more like the Brexit vote. Sorry, I didn't know what you were replying to. Natasha Milton, I'll only find out Monday if we're able to fly home next Saturday. Flight suspended at the moment till February the 1st, and I don't want to, as that would mean I may not get to see my boyfriend again. Calligraphy with Grace, aka Sheila Patterson. I joined recently and it wasn't during a live. Silly me. Can I have my song sometime soon? Of course you can. Let me make a note of your name. Calligraphy. Yeah, Selena Lufog, I'll be dropping you a line later, darling. But thank you ever so much for sending me that message. And then we can discuss what we say. Calligraphy with Grace. I'm just gonna pop that down. Helen Fatherley, the Pfizer vaccine, are they allowing other countries to develop, to manufacture it? I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure, to be honest. What's the other story? New vaccine. So new vaccine, it's got to be good news. High efficacy in Israel, got to be good news. Are things looking up? Guys, do you feel, I don't know why, you know me, I mean, I always get worried about these things. Yeah, one thing I do feel is frustrating on all levels is, I think we need to close the borders completely, don't you? Just for like a short, sharp shot to make sure given that we're on the front foot, this is the moment to not just target those countries we know variants are coming from, so we can see that. Because there was a point, right, this isn't rocket science, there was a point when we didn't know there was a variant in South Africa and flights were coming to us. And there might be that point with a variant coming from somewhere that we don't, do you know what I mean? We need to be closing down the borders to all the places where variants are about to come from, not the places that they're already coming from. And I think if we were to lock down now, for like, say for 4 weeks, in tandem with the vaccine rollout, in tandem with the last 3 weeks of lockdown, I think it would put us in a really controlling position come the 1st of March. Do we not agree? Do we not agree? And so it frustrates me that I still keep hearing it. You know, I mean, I'm losing the will to live when I hear it. Yeah, you know, we're going to put it in place in 3 weeks. The quarantine hotels will work in a week. There's these countries on the red, Dubai's been added to the red route. Come on, just blanket do it. Close the borders. Short. Even the aviation industry, companies like TUI, you know, all of them wanting to get back on their feet, EasyJet, they've all now had such a financial hit. They're all expecting it not to be good for the rest of the year. So let them, they're prepared, hit everything even harder, and just let vaccines be flown in, let freight be flown in, let, you know, food, etc., all that kind of stuff, you know, cargo, let that come in. Just do it now. Don't pussyfoot around where you've come from, who you've come from, in this corridor, if there's a corridor, all that shit. Just close them. And it's weird that they never just get on with it. And we're not talking for an eternity. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Sarah Dolby, welcome. Tomorrow will be your moment in the sun. Sarah Dolby, new family guest. Hit the thumbs up, guys, if you're enjoying our little natter. It's a good news natter today. Stop private travel, Mel W. Private jets all over the place. That's a good question, Mark. If you were in a party, what party would you be in? I would probably, the problem with party politics is that you have to be strategic in terms of getting, you know, governance. So like you could say, well, I'm most aligned with the Liberal Democrats or I'm an independent, but you'll never get heard, will you? You'd never get heard. So I couldn't stand Labour, you know, under Jeremy Corbyn, though there are some elements of Corbyn that I believe in, fairness and workers' rights and all that kind of stuff. But I do think there needs to be a kind of acknowledgement that we're in a modern world of modern needs. So I'm definitely, obviously, left of centre. John Brannan, EasyJet are recruiting cabin crew. What do they know that we don't? Absolutely, John Brannan. Well, they know that they're absolutely at the lowest point in the crisis and that things can only get better. They know that. They know that. So why not just close the door? If you shut the borders completely now, you're going to have a higher potential to get back on flights and abroad, certainly coming up towards, the autumn or thereabouts. Caithness family, welcome. A few family guests here today. New family guests, welcome. For any new family guests who here, let me just give you some Caithness family, was it? You'll get your names sung out tomorrow. When you come to your YouTube channel on your whatever device you're on, and you're looking to access some of the older content, you then go to playlists, and click on playlists, and then when you scroll down playlists, there'll be one that says Sunday Show, there'll be one that says Members Live Chats, and there'll be one now that says On Your Mark, Get Set, Cook. And they're all family guest area stuff, and you can access them there. You'll also see a tab along the top that says Community, and we post notifications there for members when sort of films are going up, or when, like, the Members Live is happening tonight. So we were absolutely, words cannot even say how absolutely exhausted we were yesterday. Do you want some good news that we've got? Do you want some well, good news and interesting news? Because a number of you I know have been following this ever since Nadia got this test into the house. Hi, Caithness family, welcome. Everyone is welcoming you. Brenda McGee. Adding you to the list, Brenda McGee. We know you, Brenda McGee. Barley McGuthan, Bottle Blue, Seward. Maddie's antibody test came back. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, or you perhaps didn't hear this, we believe, well, in February, March of last year, Maddie was extraordinarily unwell. So unwell, she was on the sofa. This was before, I'd heard, COVID was this new virus in China was a sort of thing that was only filtering through the financial markets. And so, because I watched the news, I was hearing about this thing. And Maddie was extraordinarily unwell, and really unwell. And we were really worried, and we're keeping an eye on her. She had back pain. She was, she had terrible cold, sore throat. And she was ill for about 3 or 4 days. Well, Natasha Milchin, this is interesting. Then, many months later, so she recovered from that. I was sleeping with her. I mean, she used my inhaler. I used my inhaler. It was just, we couldn't have been more sort of integrated. I lay with her on the sofa because I was worried about her. I wanted to get her drinks. I was picking up her tissues. None of this social distancing or isolating. We didn't know anything about that. So she had it bad. And then later in the year, she lost her sense of smell and taste. Anyway, her antibodies test results came in yesterday, and they're strong. She's got strong antibodies. So that tells us one of two things. Either she had it once and she still has strong antibodies, she's had it once or had it twice and has strong antibodies still. And if she has strong antibodies, even if it's from the second time, say it was a second time, did she lose her sense of smell and taste as a long COVID symptom of having it in February? She probably lost those in July, August, around there. Or was it definitely COVID? Well, it's the antibody test has come through positive. So you tell me. I don't know. That's all we know. I mean, I suppose I don't know. Could it be, I don't know, is it smallpox? No, I don't know. I don't know where Nadia got it from. Nadia got it yonks and yonks ago. I don't know. Zoe Shah, why can the government not have an app that we all vote on? If I can vote for programmes on TV, why can't the government do rough votes online instead of leaking info and seeing the response? Zoe Shah, it's quite a nice idea. Why don't they do polls of the nation, like referenda? Andrea Crash, I know. Cicely Tyson, pioneering Hollywood icon, dies at 96. I know, it's tragically sad. I don't know if was it COVID related, her death? I'm not too sure. Todd the Bunny, so Maddie could have had coronavirus or not. Well, here's the thing, we don't know if none of us have caught it. I'm intrigued now. What I want to do is Instagram, Gracio D, you're advertising Izzy's, I'll talk about that in a second. We could have had it. I think the next intriguing part of our own family jigsaw puzzle is if we can get hold of these antibody tests, and they're not expensive, to do it, because it would be interesting just to know, wouldn't it? It would just be interesting to know. Yeah, my eldest daughter Izzy, in the early days of the channel, she appeared in some of the trailer reactions, things like that. She lives in Bristol. She's a working artist. She has her own little business on Instagram. It's called Noon, which is a palindrome, and then it's underscore or hyphen underscore awake, O-W-A-K-E, Noon Awake. And she sells beautiful, they're sort of tapestries, aren't they? Sort of, what's it called? What's it called? Those hexagonal things that you put together. There's a name for it, isn't there? There's a particular name. They're, I have to say, patchwork. Thank you, Salsa Trish. They're beautifully, beautifully made. They're beautifully made. Where did you get it from? I don't know. I'll ask Nads, Tim. I'm, obviously I'm a proud dad and all that, but they really are beautifully made. And it's like I said to her, because she's an artist as well, you can sort of feel that there's a bit of artistry in there too. Do you know what I mean? Each one of them is like, there's a collectability about it. It's really nice. I'm so proud of her. She's just getting on with it. Quilting, yeah, she's doing a big quilt. She's doing cushions, all sorts of things. She's loving it. She says she thinks about it all the time. She loves the feedback. So yeah, Tina Davis, like Maddie, I had really, really bad sore throat and worst cough I ever had. Felt really ill. I wondered if then I had it. Oh, yeah, no. So it's funny that, because in the one way it's kind of like really, yeah, we feel good about the antibodies test, but on the other it kind of raises more questions than it solves, doesn't it? Seema Hussein, my mum had a cough for over 6 months, still has very extremely bad back. The doctor told because of old age, but she can't even get up. That's bad, isn't it? One of the strangest symptoms I don't know if I've had it, but something that I've noticed this year, I do a lot of working out and all that kind of stuff, but I've noticed my lower back, there's a tenderness in my lower back, a lot more towards this end of the year. But then I am getting older, you know what I mean? Oh, wait. Oh. Whoa, there you go. So there's all sorts of exchanges going on my WhatsApp. Now, if I was to say the words GameStop and Robin Hood to you, would that mean anything to anyone? Oh, I'm going to sneeze. It's one of those. You can share it with me. It's the A word. What's the A word? If I said GameStop and Rob versus Robin Hood. Faith Goodman, Robin Hood. Here's a good clue. Robin Hood, do not totally understand it, but I think it was very clever of the little man to take on the big guys if that's what's happened. Emma, oh, who's that? Emma, sorry, where did you go? Oh, I just saw someone saying obsessed with the drama. Emma Bannister, obsessed with the game. So it's intriguing. It's going to carry on today, guys. It's going to... Reddit, Erin Tyler Paris, absolutely right. Achoo. Hate those sneezes that build up. I know it's building up so far, I'm worried that my right eyeball is going to fly across the room. Okay, I don't want to get too technical, but on the stock market, financial markets, right? So we know that bankers destroyed the Western economy, didn't they, back in 2008, and virtually no one was responsible for that, were they? They destroyed the developed world's economy and they all got away with it, all right? So something that a lot of kind of hedge funds, extraordinarily rich billionaires and all that lot do, they short stocks that are failing businesses or businesses that have been overvalued or whatever, and they have a vested interest in that business crashing so that every time the share price goes down, so out of failure, shorters make money. And so one of the things that really, really sort of intrigues me about this story is that Robinhood is a trading platform for kind of lots and lots of just ordinary punters. And what loads of ordinary punters have got together and decided they want to buy into this company called GameStop, inflate the share price and destroy the profits of billionaire hedge funders. And at the moment, they're succeeding. And so you've got, it's like literally, okay, a story of the little people, little retail investors attacking great big hedge funders. And it's it's just quite wonderful to watch. And you'll be wondering why it keeps hitting the news. But one thing they're not talking about in the news is the fact that these people who apparently are discussing it all on the, what's it called? The social media platform Reddit are all chatting away like mad and are all sort of talking up the price. And it's basically little people fighting against great big people on Wall Street. It's very funny. Mel W, problem is small guys will lose out if they're too slow. You're absolutely right. It's David and Goliath stuff. But yeah, they've all got to be very careful, of course. Nora Doyle, a friend in Chicago has just tested positive, but she said she knew the minute she lost her sense of smell as a skunk sprayed in her back garden and she couldn't get it. Discord threw them off. That's right, yeah. And so Robinhood, which is one of the trading platforms, refused to let them sell buy their shares. It's terrible. Mark, have you been watching It's a Sin? I've been watched it all, broke my heart. We watched it all and it broke our heart, and we're going to be doing a review. We're going to be doing a review. These things, by the time Jamie B125, it's already too late. It's essentially gambling. You're absolutely right. Be in it to really benefit. You've got to already be in it to really benefit. You're absolutely right. I mean, the story's already gone, but it's intriguing, isn't it, when it comes through? This is a freedom of speech issue, Mel W, absolutely. Alicia Borens, have you heard about the eating burnt orange thing to get your taste back? I remember Nadia saying Maddie had lost her sense of taste and smell. Yes, it's the, eating burnt orange. We did hear about this, and Nadia really wants to look into this. Eating burnt orange. We'll look into that, and maybe we'll test it. Eating burnt orange. Andrea Crash, Diane Blake. I was in the city the other weekend and photographed the racing of the boats. May go again to get more pics. Easy parking for me. Sorry, I don't know what that's about. Started watching WandaVision, Karen Bennett. Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird? Rita M. Mark, should you research ivermectin and tell us what you think? Maybe I will. I don't know what it is, but it sounds exciting. Nicola Marcella, I'm loving it. Hey Mark, hopefully Jack's out of hospital today. Katie Fenton, who was admitted on Monday after peeing blood. Oh, sweetie. Sending you all of our love and all of our thoughts, sweetie. Katie Johnson, the YouTube plaque is in my room. We toyed with putting it up there, just looked a bit strange and a bit show-offy. Jamaican orange, apparently, is a TikTok thing that doesn't work. Oh, right, okay. Well, we'll look into it. The Bay 2 is very good. Yeah, we liked the Bay 1. I think we reviewed it. I didn't necessarily know if I thought it could stretch to another series. Are you preparing your vegetable garden? Not in this rain, we're not. It's not in these. Oh, it's the enzymes that restart your taste. Film review, Martin Worth. Are you going to be reviewing Supernova with Stanley Tucci? I know it looks heartbreaking, doesn't it? Stanley Tucci and Colin Firth, isn't it? I am looking forward to that. Is that released today? I'm getting frustrated with the lack of films coming out, to be honest with you. And then watching them, streaming them, it's just not the same, is it? You want that collective experience. Yeah, so there was a couple, here, let me find this other news story. I just wanted to listen to this. So on LBC, where's LBC? There's this story, what do you think of this guy? A binman has been sacked after kicking the head off a 3-year-old snowman. A binman has been sacked after karate kicking the head off a 3-year-old snowman. The agency worker was told he would not be coming back to work for Herefordshire Council after Tuesday's kung fu kick was captured on CCTV. Seems harsh to sack him, doesn't it? The man was shown delivering a roundhouse-style kick to the 6-foot-tall creation on a footpath in front of a house. I mean, the child will be heartbroken, but, you know, it's the cut and thrust of throwing snowballs, isn't it? I mean, give him a warning. The council said it was disappointed by his conduct. It's a bit like me standing with Nanny Di, isn't it? You've disappointed me, you've disappointed the class, and most of all, you'll find you've disappointed yourself. The council said it was disappointed by his conduct, adding he was an agency worker recruited to work and was not directly employed by the county hall. Binman sacked for snowman kick. Okay, guys, so give us a yes, no. Should he have been sacked for kicking the head off a 3-year-old snowman? Selena Lou Fogg, film reviews will be coming. Bless you, thank you. Vast majority say no. Oh no, Irene Gregory says yes. Jenny Matthews, somebody stole a snowman. I think he was drunk. Just disciplined. No, but reprimanded. Absolutely not. It's his wage, for goodness sake. Not sure he should have been sacked, but not a nice person for doing it. No, I know what you mean. It's not gross misconduct. No, it's not. I mean, it really isn't a sackable offence. I mean, you know, he wasn't directly employed by the council, but presumably if you're removed, aren't you? So, so that was a story that particularly stood out for me today. Lockdown in Wales, for our regions in Wales, the lockdown's going to continue for another 3 weeks. But again, as I say, I do feel that all the sounds, all the mood music, is that things are going to be, we're going to be coming out of things sooner than we think, guys. I really do. But I just think today the biggest move has to be closing the borders to parallel the end of our lockdown. Don't you think? That's what I think. That's what I think. So yes, so the members live will be happening tonight. It will probably be around 7ish, 7:30. And I'll post though for sure what time that is on the community page. Have a lovely day, guys. Another Cornish vlog is landing today. It was due to land yesterday, but it will be landing later today. We are behind the scenes shooting bits and bobs for the home time, and it's the longest period we haven't had a home time or a weekend vlog, so they're all coming. And so stay positive. I think there's reason to be positive. I just think it is really literally the final push now, and a case of getting as many people vaccinated as possible. The news from Israel is brilliant. I think we need to all show more compassion between nations and pull the party line for each other. I think maybe there's an argument to have a global push to vaccinate everyone over a certain age. And hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this. Do subscribe if you wish to do this more often. Yeah, lovely and welcome to those new guests. And those new guests who joined today, I have your names down on a list, and we will be mangling your name tomorrow. And I'd like to say a special thank you to Jana Embry Snyder from Seattle. You know why. Thank you very much. Lots of love, guys. And Selena Lufog, thank you. I'll be responding to your email today. So thanks, guys. Lots of love. Bye.